Tonight on Daily Planet.
How do you bring life back to an old ship? Well, first you blow it up, make an artificial reef, then turn it into an art gallery.
On Flight Deck, we'll go into the clean room and see the finishing touches put on the new communication satellite, Nimiq 6.
On Robogeddon, we'll check out the monster robot that's attached to this monster crushing hand.
Oh, that's right. I'm running all of this because tonight on Riskin's Business, it's all about multitasking.
Look, Ma, no hands. We'll show you an autonomous boat loaded with sonar lasers and 3D imagery. All you have to do is tell it where to go.
We are definitely going places.
This is Daily Planet. Hello and welcome to Daily Planet for Wednesday, May 23rd. I'm Zaya Tong.
And I'm Dan Riskin. Today's show is packed with incredibly intriguing stuff. We've got these stick bugs that look a little bit like giant lobsters.
They are crazy looking.
They will blow your mind. We also have a new development in getting ketchup out of the bottle.
And Lucas Cochran's going to be dropping by to show off the latest arsenal of future tech. But first, we're kicking things off today with an art gallery that is pretty exclusive.
Oh, that's right. Not just anybody can go. To get in there, you have to wear a wetsuit and diving gear.
Assembling, preparing. A passion unique to an artist.
I love to shoot. I love photography.
Drifting the open waters off the coast of Key West. An unlikely spot to find a famed Austrian photographer.
I'm Andreas Franke. I'm a commercial photographer.
He's commanded by the world's biggest brands, creating images that grace the pages of magazines and billboards. But this project is all his own.
For me, it was in my heart. I was really looking for something. I'm a diver since 20 years, photographer since even longer, and to do something where I can bring art, photography, and diving together.
The idea was an underwater art exhibit. Andreas found his inspiration across the ocean.
I saw a dive magazine and they showed the Vandenberg, the whole thinking, and I thought this is extraordinary and it's exactly that what I'm looking for.
The Vandenberg was a former Air Force missile tracking ship. It became the second largest vessel in the world to be purposely sunk for an artificial reef. For Andreas, it made a perfect setting for a gallery.
I thought I need to do something to bring life back to a shipwreck.
So his quest began to revive the sunken Vandenberg.
First of all, I went to Key West, went diving, took my camera, my underwater camera, shot like plates of the shipwreck. So I came back with more than 1,000 or 2,000 shots I did on a couple dives. And then I went back to my studio in Vienna and shot all these people, all these different scenes in the studio.
Using images of the bare ship and casted scenes, Andreas created stunning photographic art.
Digital photography and also digital post-production gave me the possibility to do something like this. If you see a shipwreck underwater, it's already aged a little bit. It's something from the past, so I thought I need to do something that the whole thing is a little bit aged and fits together.
Figuring out how to fit the poster-sized pieces along the starboard side of Vandenberg's weather deck presented its own challenges.
My vision was to see a real gallery show underwater. So that means all the art should be absolutely leveled, spaced, and in the right flow to keep the actual art intact underwater. That was pretty challenging because salt water is pretty aggressive. So everything made out of metal except stainless steel will be gone in a couple weeks.
Wanting the prints to last more than just weeks, Andreas sealed them between plexiglass and attached them to a stainless frame. Simple magnets were added to hold the art to the wreck.
We put them all together on a dive boat, went out to the Vandenberg. First day, rough sea. We were lucky on the second day, had perfect weather, and we let them down on a rope.
One by one, 12 pieces installed, 30 meters below the surface.
After we installed all these, we saw divers coming by and saw the first hanging images. It made me feel very happy.
Fast forward 4 months and this showing was over.
We had to bring up the art. I was really a little bit scared that their storms could destroy the art.
Carefully, the living art was pried from the wreck and towed to the surface.
It looks like a huge Polaroid from the history with all these colors inside and with all these growths on it. I definitely love it.
After reaching the surface, these pieces of art needed to air out.
As you can mention, they were highly smelly. We dried them like coffee in the sun for 2 weeks. So everything kept. We didn't rinse them with fresh water. We kept them like they are, and now they are in an air-conditioned storage.
Now fully preserved, they're worth thousands. A few hang in a Key West dive shop.
I realized when we have done the whole thing that this was a big thing for me, that it was really very emotional to have them down there.
So compelling, Andreas is taking more art below the surface, swirling new interest for a discriminating crowd of art lovers who dive. And if you're a diver, good news, because Andreas has just taken down new artwork to the Vandenberg. It's going to be on display there until September.
You have to admit, even seeing those underwater, they look pretty good on TV. But that's because TV itself has come a long way in a relatively short period of time. I mean, we've progressed from black and white to color, and then curved screens to flat screens, and then there's standard def to high def, and that's just a few of the transitions. But this weekend, a new satellite blasted into orbit that's going to have a huge impact on watching TV right here in Canada. This is Nimiq 6. It is a big honkin' satellite.
Nimiq 6 is 4,600 kilograms. That's about 4 cars. And when the solar arrays are fully deployed, it'll be about a 100-foot wingspan.
It's not the biggest communication satellite, but it is one of the most powerful ones.
Satellites over the years have become more powerful. This is an 11 kilowatt satellite.
After 2 years of construction, it is now just days away from hitching a ride into space.
To get this satellite into orbit, it'll be placed in a rocket and will be launched from Kazakhstan.
Its job? To deliver television signals to the homes of millions of Canadians.
Nimiq 6 will provide high-definition television service to everyone with a dish on the top of their house.
If you subscribe to the service. But before it makes its journey to the launch pad in Kazakhstan, it needs to go through a systems check.
Right now we're setting up the solar array deployment, and this system is used to test the solar array zero gravity environment in space. So we have a test fixture, and they're going to take this system and fold up the solar arrays against the spacecraft and release the hold downs, and the solar arrays will deploy.
Of course, in space, there is no giant electrical plug. The only way to get energy up here is from the sun.
Solar arrays are a combination of solar cells that are bonded to a structure, and there's about 1.6 kilowatts of power for each panel. And this spacecraft has 8 panels, 4 on each side, and it'll generate 11,000 watts of power for the spacecraft.
These panels are essential, but not operational all the time.
The solar arrays are used to power the spacecraft when it has line of sight of the sun. It'll also power the batteries and charge the batteries so that when the satellite goes out of range of the sun, the batteries will take over and power the satellite.
In orbit, Nimiq will receive transmissions from Bell TV, then bounce those signals to homes all over the country.
So here we can see in a stowed position, you have multiple reflectors which are packaged as compact as possible. When the satellite gets into its orbital location, it'll deploy its reflectors. This is the main reflector, and the feed will send a signal to the subreflector and bounce down to the main reflector and reflect that signal back to the Earth.
Once they've finished here, it's off to Kazakhstan.
2, 1, ignition. Ignition start.
Nimiq 6 is a geostationary satellite and will take a rocket to launch it up to its 22,300-mile orbit.
To give you some perspective on how far away that is, consider that the space station is only 200 miles from Earth.
So this satellite will be 100 times further away.
After its 9-hour-long rocket ride, 12 thrusters will put Nimiq 6 into the right orbit. Nimiq 6 will soon be up and running, and Canadians will be able to look forward to even better access to high-definition television.
Hey, have you ever wanted to throw your brand new iPad off a balcony without breaking it? Well, coming up after the break on Future Tech, we're going to show you how.